If you have used RAM to,
screen them out.
Yeah.
So that was where I got confused again. And thank you for.
Thank you very much. For instance, if you have a thesis as part of your research, and you also have a journal article, let's say the thesis was published, let's say Popola 2010, and the paper like Popola 2012. There are different publications, so they will be listed differently in your list. So you might have included them one way or the other without putting, without really paying attention to it. But by the time you are now doing the extraction, at that point you pay attention to it that this is Popola and this is Popola. Is it the same thing or not? But at the initial stage when you are screening, you are just trying to see this document, does it meet up my criteria? You include it. But by the time you now get to the work of extracting, you now see that it's the same study. Now they only did, maybe it's people that do salami slicing, for instance, and they've shredded papers data in several publications. You can just that this is the same thing that they are reporting. So you can just, instead of listing it as Popola 2015, Popola 2010, and they are reporting the same thing. So that's why I said at that point you need to make the unit of analysis the study and not the paper. Thank you. Any other question? Yes, sir. There you are, sir. Okay.
Data that will determine if you can go further to do meta-analysis.
Okay.
I think that's what the last slide that you are saying.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So I want to ask, because I once discussed with someone, he told me that it's possible to write a systematic review without going through the full text. That he has done one using only abstract, that they were able to extract all the needed information from the abstracts. So I want to ask, because I know you've been telling us, drawing a distinction between systematic review and scoping review. I don't know, this scoping review, is it the same thing with bibliometry or scientometry? Because those are the terms I'm familiar with. Okay. I don't know. Is there any distinction between them, or they are still a variant of this scoping review? I don't know if you get me right.
Yes,
bibliometry review, scientometry review, are they the same thing with this scoping review? Because from what I learned, that bibliometry review, that is still part of systematic review.
Thank you, sir.
And then, yes, you have mentioned my other question. You have mentioned that this data extraction that can be done with some tools, even though some of them are not free. So that means part of this tedious work can be automated. Once you have you have the forms ready, that some of these things can be automated without you going through all the rigor.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me start with the first one, which is about bibliometrics, scientometrics, and all that. And let me mention that the person did not do the systematic review. The person that said they used abstract. Even for our normal traditional literature review, we are not expected to base our review on just the abstract. For our normal, not even systematic review now, because sometimes the cover is different from what is inside. Abstract and title, they are like the cover. There could be other things that are inside. So if it's a systematic review, if it's abstract that the person used, even if it's a rapid review that we even skip a lot of steps in the evidence synthesis process, the person did not do the rapid review. You need to get into the full text of the work. You can see that's why we have these guidelines. I'm very sure if that person publishes it, they probably will have lied that they got the full text, because you will have ticked a lot of things in the checklist from Prisma and all that. So let's first settle with that. And then for the bibliometrics and scientometrics, one thing is that they can stand on their own as a study. You can have a pure bibliometric study that you are just trying to see the trend of things. Let's say, how are things trending, how this particular issue, what's the trend? You just collect data on that particular on that particular thing, on that particular issue, and you are saying, okay, how many literature do we have on this? What countries are they coming from? Like we always have, okay, in, let's say, in a particular field, we are having more papers from China, from Nigeria. Those are bibliometric studies. We are looking at papers and seeing different characteristics. So that kind of thing can be part of scoping review. It can be part of systematic review. Just as we said, you are going to do a descriptive analysis of the included study. So bibliometric analysis or scientometric analysis can be part of a systematic review in terms of your results. If it's part of your, in fact, there was a review that I was doing with the VC, and part of the focus strictly was bibliometric. It's a review, but objective was to have a bibliometric analysis. We wanted to look at some trends and where some things are coming from. That was just it. So bibliometric analysis can be part of your review as an objective, especially if it's a scoping review, and as part of the study the description of the study, as we showed in that example. Can we have the screen, please? Technical room, can we have the screen on, please? Thank you. Where is it? The results. Okay, yeah, the study characteristics. All these are bibliometrics, just that they are not represented in tables and charts. All this information here. Just that by the time you want to say you want to really have bibliometric as part of your focus, you now elaborate it. You go more elaborate. What percentage is coming from Nigeria, from South Africa? Do you understand that, sir? So you can have bibliometrics as part of describing the study characteristics within a review. But you can also have a study that is just, you want to do a bibliometric analysis. You are not, and in that case, you are not confined to all these guidelines of evidence synthesis. You are just doing your work. There are lots of bibliometric work that you can run. Just download data, and then that one is not a systematic review. It's a study on its own, bibliometric analysis. There is this function in Python, biblioshining. If we are used to the R language, biblioshining function that you just, if you download all the data from a database, PubMed or Scopus, you just feed into it and it draws all the maps for you. In fact, it can draw connection between authors, which authors are leading in this feed. So those are the things that bibliometric do for you, and they can be part of a systematic review or a scoping review, and they can also stand alone. When they are standing alone, all those guidelines and things, it doesn't concern them. But when they are now within a proper evidence synthesis review, then you still have to follow I hope I'm able to. I think the last one is about automation. Automating, because we have software. So those software are not going to extract the data for you. They are just going to make the work easy. Like, make it easy to say, okay, you are looking at the data, put your answer, like tabulate it. So it's not as if they are going to extract the data from each of the studies for you. No. That we have not gotten to that stage. I don't know if we will get there, because sometimes human judgment comes into that at that point of extraction and all that. You need to understand, based on the problem that is existing, based on the form, the data extraction form that you have designed, a lot of human judgment comes into that. So it's just going to make it easy, such that, for instance, you are extracting, I am extracting, you are in London, I'm in Nigeria. Sometimes, if we are doing it on Excel sheet, there could be confusion. So all those kind of confusion that could arise from doing it manually, you just do it as I will do my own on my end. I won't see what you are doing. You will do your own on your end. Then we open the blind. We are both seeing what we have done, and we are able to resolve conflicts, just as Rayan did for us. So it's just like that. You know, Rayan will not tell us include this or exclude this. Are we together? So Rayan will not say, okay, include this one. It meets your. You are the one that will make that decision. That's the same thing that those tools also, they facilitate it to make it easier. Not that they will. We cannot automate it that they should be extracting the data from the full text of the work. I hope that helps. Thank you. Any other question? Okay. They are just software. SR Accelerator is just another software, just like SPSS and what's it called now? And Starter. They are just, they do similar things, but there could be some little advancement of one over the other. By the time you explore further, so it's not as if one may be better than the other, but by the time you but one thing is, if something is working for me, I'll just be using it until I need to maybe, all these Oyinbo people like upgrading, new version and things like that. But if you are able to stick with SR Accelerator and you explore the functions and they are good for you, that's fine. I've seen that SR Accelerator is very good for the duplication. It's very sensitive. It detects the duplicates very well, and that's why I took us there. So when it has a screenatron function, I didn't take us there because I've not used this. I prefer the interface of Rayan for the screening. I'll just be ticking, include, exclude, and all that. So they are just different software that do the same thing, so to say. All right, sir. Okay. The criterion is our protocol. So we'll now bring our protocol and say, okay, what did we write? Why did you not follow it? So we will now discuss it. We have published our protocol before we started the work, the review process. So that protocol is not what we now, all of us will now bring out. Is this not what we state in our protocol? Why are you saying we should not include it in the study? So we will not discuss it. The person will give their own reason, the other person will give their own reason, then we reach consensus. But if we still fail to reach consensus, then we'll call a third party to break the tie. So the criterion is, and that is part of the transparency of this type of study. You already have your published criterion. You are not just deciding why the work is going on whimsically. You are bringing the criterion that you have published, and then you are following the protocol all through. Thank you. Okay. I think at this point we should go for the tea break for maybe very briefly, like 15 minutes, and then we'll reconvene to take Zotero. We intend to end early as 1, if possible, and Zotero, hopefully within an hour and a half or 2 hours will be through. Thank you.